Hey everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Centaur Queen's Ramblings. So, I have noticed that I tend to be very vague about the details of my centaurs. So, that I thought that maybe, just maybe, you guys might like for me to explain them and let me take you on a journey throughout the world I've created. And before I start, I should apologize for the quality of the video. I'm shooting on my school issued Chromebook, which is really horrible. I'm not a big fan of Chromebooks at all. Also, the computer is on my lap, so it explains the shaky video when I'm adjusting it to get a better picture. Also, you might hear some gurgling noises. Those are just my fish tanks in my room, my betas. I need to get some water into them, but that can wait for a later day. It's kind of late here at the moment, but I might talk loud enough that you can't hear them. I don't know. Anyways, also, I should tell you that I am reading off a document I created, so that's why I'm not always looking at the camera. Anyways, we'll first visit the Nacirema Naidni, my main tribe, which at the moment has roughly 65 members. Little background on them. I first started them off with about 22 members, and they've increased by a whopping 43, which is not just because of foals being born into the tribe. It's mainly because they're willing to accept anyone with any background whatsoever. They're very tolerant of most centaurs or zetars, But they are the complete opposite of the Telex, which is one of my other tribes. But we can get to them in a couple videos. The Nacirema Naidni's current alpha is Diami, who was born and raised in this tribe. Leadership roles are passed down through the family, with the exception of the betas. So Diami's parents are the previous alphas, and like firstborn son normally gets it, or in occasion that there's no sons, the daughter, or maybe in the case that they don't have any foals at all, which is extremely rare anyways, they would probably get a new family elected. I'm not sure. So I have to decide that yet because it's never happened. Currently he's 35 years old, which means he's kind of in middle age. I recently redid my centaur so that they all made sense. Everything was kind of willy-nilly with no set rules or anything for me to go by with them. And as I was going through them, I found one family with 3 foals. The eldest was younger than the youngest foal, which was definitely a problem. Anyways, I put them into 4 different age brackets for all of them. The first one is child, which is between the ages of newborn to about 2 years. Second is puberty, or the teenager phase, if you will, for lack of a better word. I thought about it for a while and figured puberty fitted the best. Given a centaur, they wouldn't use teenager, I would say. So the ages for that is between 3 to 5. Third is adult, and this ranges from 6 to 49 years of age. The fourth is elder, and this is 50 plus. And Diami is just about in the prime of his life, probably just a little older, but we'll give him some grace. His love life actually has been kind of interesting, and his mate is one of a kind, honestly. So Diami was about a year away from becoming alpha when he came across Luca while out gathering food for the tribe. Luca was an exile from the Telek tribe. They just keep popping up, don't they? Are you curious yet? Because she'd been forcibly covered by a Zetar during a raid. And to clarify for you guys, since I'm pretty sure you don't know what a Zetar is like a zebra centaur, the horse body being like black and white striped, and the human part having like really long black hair for both male and female, and then they're having black eyes, which is actually a thing. It's caused by an excess of melanin. So I looked that up just to see if that was crazy for thinking of it, but no, it's actually a thing. Anyways, she was all alone and began foaling. She was scared out of her mind until Diami came along and he helped her deliver her colt. Turns out she lived in the cave but had lost her way, being chased to where she was by some foals from the Telek tribe. Not turning out to be very nice. Diami led her back to the cave and left her, but he did vision occasionally to help out the young filly. She was 5 at the time of foaling, and that means she's 4 at the age 4 when she was covered, which would make her roughly 15 to 16 at the time of covering, and then 17 to 18 at the time of foaling in human years. I'll wait for it to load. Eventually, Diami fell in love with her and asked her to be his mate on Vaska, the foal's first birthday. Luca accepted, and soon after he was given the position of alpha. 12 years later, Ayana was born. Luca has had a bit of foaling fear given her past history, so she's always about pregnancy and foaling in general. So I kind of feel bad for her having given her 4 foals. But her anxiety actually has gotten better over time since I've been pushing her to the limit. Then when Ayana was about 3, Sajin was born, Luca and Diami's first son, which is super cute because he looks exactly like Diami. So just really excited about him. When Sajin was about a year old, Neo was born. Neo was born in the middle of a snowstorm, but actually, Neo was kind of an afterthought. I haven't really thought much about him. I really do not know what he looks like at all. Haven't planned that out. I don't remember what his name means at the moment, so I'll have to Google it later. I haven't done much on him yet. Anyways, his mom was out in it along with Sajin when Neo was born in the snowstorm. So Luca really had to step up then and conquer her fear. She did just fine and ended up spending the night out in the snowstorm before Diami found her. And I should probably keep telling you all these spoilers so you want to read the story actually instead of having me tell it to you. My page. There we go. I delved into Luca as much as I'd like. She's about 5 years old. She was not of a notable position on the Telek tribe, just a tribe member. Although her family did want better for her just because they were lower life forms. Lower in the tribe. So they wanted her to rise up to a better position than they were in. And she ended that dream kind of crashed into the ground when she was forcibly covered, so to speak. But in a way, since she's the alpha consort in the Nacirema Naidni, she has kind of risen to the goal they've achieved. They wanted for her, just not in the way they would have liked, I guess. Now for some stats. So Diami and Luca have been married for about 24 years now, and Diami was 11 at marriage while Luca was 6. Diami is tall, muscular, black and white pinto stallion with long waist-length dark brown hair and soft brown eyes. Like, you could just fall in love with his description, couldn't you? His name means eagle, and his alternate name, which is the name he'd use while in the presence of humans or other life forms other than centaurs. It's only known by his parents and occasionally mate. If it is shared, it is with the mate. It is normally a very intimate name, not used only when they're alone, because no other centaur should know it. It's like a very personal name, which is Oriole for Diami, which also means eagle. I do try to make them mean the same thing, but occasionally I do run into a name that is very unique and doesn't have an alternate name that means the same thing, so I go for something that means basically the same thing if I can't get it to mean exactly the same thing. His parents were Eagle Talon and Rain Cloud, and the parents really don't have much meaning on these older characters. I just planned some stories around some of them, and I needed some parents, so I created a set for everyone just to cover all my bases. And on to Luca. I honestly don't need to be reading this from the page. I have her basically memorized by now, her being one of my main characters. She's a short, possibly stunted by the early pregnancy, tawny mare with long, curly, white blonde hair and blue eyes. Her name means light, and her alternate name is Lucena, meaning light also. And can you tell just by the names that they actually kind of were, like I described them earlier, being kind of lower in the tribe, you know? So that's the alpha pair of the Nacirema Naidni. If any questions I haven't answered or want the spellings on their names, comment below and I'll get to them in my next video. But for now, on to the betas. And before I introduce you, I swear that I never, ever intentionally thought of this or planned it out. It happened before I knew it, so don't get any nasty thoughts about my girl Cheapo. So Cheapo is a beta, and yes, she is a she. That is actually quite rare for betas or alphas. They're normally male, so she's very unique. And you'll never ever guess who she's married to either. Do you have a guess? It's Vaska, Luca's son. But before you start thinking that she married him to get into the position, let me tell you an important detail that is very key to the situation. She married Vaska one pair in the Nacirema Naidni spreadsheet, and then the youngest. And she's been beta for roughly 20 years, ever since she turned 6. She's 26 right now. And she married Vaska when she was 8. They currently only have a single foal, a son named Nika. They also have a grand foal, but I'll get to him in a later video. Nika is 9 years old and was born when Cheapo was 17. So it was a good 9 years of marriage before she had a foal. And I actually haven't thought about it much, like if she chose not to have a foal because she was beta, or if they really couldn't have a foal. I haven't thought about that much. I would assume it's because she was a beta, not because she and Vaska couldn't. Yeah. Anyways, I should probably get started onto Vaska now, having delved into Cheapo. Let's see. He's a son of the Alpha Consort, part Zetar, and he's 25 years old. He's kind of had a hard life being part Zetar, but it's been bet a lot. If he'd been born outcast, like kind of like one disease with leprosy, you know, they are very non-tolerant. In fact, I like to think of it in Harry Potter terms. So the Nacirema Naidnis are like the Muggleborns in a way, or the half-bloods. They're very tolerant, versus the Selects are kind of like a pureblood society. They do not like anything that is not pureblood, Telek, all that sort of stuff. That's how I've kind of thought about it. So it really was a blessing that Diami found Luca when he did. Anyways, I should probably move on to the stats. So Cheapo is a blue roan mare with longish black hair. She had it short for quite some time before starting to grow it out like any other normal mare. She's got green eyes. Her name means gift, and her alternate name is Duralis, also meaning gift. And I've already mentioned her parents, so on to Vaska. He's almost an identical replica of his dam, so that means mother for those of you who are not familiar with animal terminology. He's a tawny stallion with short, curly white blonde hair and blue eyes, so literally the exact replica. Have black bands on them, this being the only sign that he is part Zetar, and he's actually quite lucky. Most other Zetar crosses have more definite signs, as we will explore more as we get farther into all the different centaurs I have. His name means princely, and his alternate name is Sigourney, which means daring king. So this kind of proves my point that I try my hardest to make it mean the same thing, but I get some alternate variations of the name sometimes. As long as it means basically the same thing, I'm fine with it. We already know his dam, And I'll give you a sire, the most notorious Zetar of all, Acachella. And now I'll leave you with the cliffhanger. Who is Acachella anyways? And why is he so notorious? I actually haven't gotten this far when I was videotaping, so kind of impressed, and nobody's interrupted me by this time, so I gotta wait for the page to load again. It's really stupid. Okay, there we go. So, Acachella. You guys are gonna absolutely hate him by the end of this, but it'll be totally worth it because he's actually one of my favorite characters. Anyways, we will revisit this next time. Otherwise, you'd be waiting a really long time to learn who Acachella is. His tribe is third in the lineup to be explained, so you would be waiting for a very long time. And I still have 61 centaurs to go from the Nacirema Naidnis. So if you want the spellings on any names or have any questions you need answered that I haven't covered yet, comment below and I'll answer them in my next video. And like and subscribe down below to receive any updates on my channel. And if you want to see my centaur stories, check me out on Wattpad. The username is the same as my channel name below. Have a wonderful day and stay safe, everyone. Bye.